Join us as we uncover true Bible history. From the creation of the heavens and the earth, to the first man and woman, from the forbidden tree of knowledge to ancient biblical manuscripts and translations. Discover information about early settlers in the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient Israel, and Rome. All this and more in our new series, Uncovering True Biblical History.
A Black African King in Medieval and Renaissance European Art. King Balthazar was one of the biblical magi, along with Caspar and Melchior, who visited the infant Messiah after he was born. Balthazar is traditionally referred to as the King of Macedonia and gave the gift of myrrh to the baby Messiah. The book of Matthew does not give the names of the magi, or even how many there were, but their traditional names are ascribed to a Greek manuscript from 500 AD, translated into Latin and commonly accepted as the source of the names. In this original manuscript, Balthazar is called Balthazar, which later developed into Balthazar. Balthazar was described in the 8th century by Saint Bede as being of black complexion with a heavy beard. With the myrrh he held in his hands, prefigured the death of the son of the Messiah. Early medieval written legends report that one of the three kings who paid homage to the Messiah child in Bethlehem was from Africa. But it would take nearly 1,000 years for European artists to begin representing Balthazar, the youngest of the three kings, as a black man. Why? The explanation can be found through a closer look at the history of this period, specifically in the rise of the African slave trade in the mid-1400s. The exhibition, Balthazar, a Black African King in Medieval and Renaissance Art, examines how Balthazar's depiction coincided with what was further to be the rise of the slave trade. Yet despite further written descriptions of Balthazar as a black African, European artists continue to represent him as a white king for centuries. In the earliest example of the Oration of the Magi in the Getty's collection, the three kings are virtually identical. Only Caspar, the eldest, is distinguished by his gray beard and slightly longer robes. The African identity of the third magus was alluded to in European art for the first time in 1266, when the artist Nicola Pisano sculpted two African attendants at the scene with the Magi. Their features and hair clearly identified them as sub-Saharan Africans. This identification is underscored by the camels they ride. At the end of the 15th century, things changed. Suddenly, we see a larger number of images in European art depicting Balthazar as either associated with Africa through costume or painted as an African. In our manuscripts collection alone, we have 4 images of Balthazar as a black African. These illuminations, found within personal prayer books, were all created around 1480 to 1490. Precisely the period in which the Portuguese slave trade began on the west coast of Africa. Interesting. Now I gotta say this. After reading this, it's fine, okay? They decided they want to give us one black man in this bunch. So when all the people that gathered to see the Messiah, the baby Messiah, along with Mary and Joseph, his father, and all the people that gathered around about, now they're finally saying there was one African there was one black man there, but everybody else was white. Interesting. I find that the white America would generally say to us that what difference does it make? So white America has literally went out, and from sculptures to paintings to actors and movies have painted everyone in the biblical arena as a white person. From the females to the men, from the angels in heaven to the demons in hell, they painted everyone to be a white man. Even the Most High Elohim in heaven, God of heaven, is a white man. The devil in hell is depicted as white. I find that interesting that now all of a sudden they decide they want to give us Belteshazzar as a black king. Well, I'm sorry, I have news for you. Actually, I doubt if there was anyone there at the birth of the Messiah that was white, because the Messiah himself was black. Mary was black. Joseph was black. And no doubt the people that around him were black. I doubt very seriously if they would have escaped to Egypt if they were white. So the bottom line is, in all of this, okay, you want to give us a black king. All three of them were probably black. Interesting. The way the image should have looked, it should have looked more like this here. This is probably more of a true depiction of what it looked like on the day that the Messiah was born than anything else that we've ever seen. Again, another short lesson in history.
Join us as we uncover true Bible history. From the creation of the heavens and the earth, to the first man and woman, from the forbidden tree of knowledge to ancient biblical manuscripts and translations. Discover information about early settlers in the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient Israel, and Rome. Hidden truths about the true name of God and about the early church age, from the time of the Messiah and the Last Supper to the time of Constantine. We will discover hidden information. We will uncover mistranslations and misquotes of the Bible to help you gain a better understanding of Scripture. Hellenistic Judaism and Greek influence of the New Testament will be revealed. In this series, we will unlock the truth about the people of the Bible, false gods of antiquity, their symbols, and their influence on Christianity. All this and more in our new series, Uncovering True Biblical History.